What's the difference between that and taking out an injunction against somebody? For instance, if Sarah Lockett's stalker now goes anywhere near her, she only has to pick up the phone and the police arrive.
Well, see, Sarah Lockett's stalker has been restrained from coming near her under the Harassment Act, and I'm saying that restraining order has to apply across the board, because a lot of infatuated behaviour ends up in sentencing other than harassment. And the silly thing is that if you're being stalked, you might not be able to prove the stalking, but you can prove, for instance, criminal damage of your car, someone breaking a window of your house, particularly if it's seen, or you can prove an assault, or even malicious telephone calls. Now, you can prove the malicious telephone calls, but it might not amount in law to harassment. Now, what I'm saying is that a malicious phone call, contrary to the Telecommunications Act, should bring in a restraining order to stop them from telephoning.
Brilliant, that's great. That's what I just wanted to try, because I think people would think, oh, I don't quite understand. The other thing is, presumably now, though, you can take out an injunction against somebody, can't you?
Yes, so you can take out a civil injunction, and obviously if they breach that, then they can be taken before the civil courts for contempt of court. But the great problem with civil injunctions is there isn't a power of arrest, and no one can be arrested for breaching one except under the Harassment Act. Now, the great difficulty is if you might not have an injunction under the Harassment Act, you might, in a particular case, get an injunction under nuisance or under property laws. And if the person breaches it, they can breach it, stand outside your house, act in defiance of the court order, and they can't be arrested. And I think, again, the restraining order provisions would help with that. And I think we've also got to have major changes in our injunctive and contempt of law procedures, because it makes it hideously expensive. Someone goes to civil court, they have to pay for it or get legal aid, they have to instruct a private detective to serve the person with a sealed court order. They've got to go to court first, get an order, come back, serve it to the person, and then the person has to voluntarily go to court. And it's only when he hasn't been to court on one or two occasions that he's then arrested and brought to court. It's a hideously expensive procedure, and it costs a lot of money, and it can cost, £7,000, £8,000, £9,000, £10,000. That's why people don't take out civil injunctions in these sort of cases.
Is it easy to get legal aid to deal with a case like this?
Well, of course, we have a government here which is making obtaining legal aid much more difficult than before. And I think that a lot of these cases of stalking and infatuated behaviour, I take the view that they are public order offences, and I would like to see a situation where people were given non-means tested legal aid to assist in these kind of cases, just as they do when children are in difficulty, or in asylum cases people get non-means tested legal aid. It's vital that we get it, because we are undermining democracy in this country by not giving people effective court remedies.
What was I up to? You said one of the problems is that the police tend to avoid getting involved in cases where the law is a bit difficult.
The Crown Prosecution Service will only take on a case if there's a very good chance of a conviction. And the police, on the whole, only take on cases where there's a reasonable amount of evidence, and they can get the evidence together quickly. Unfortunately, cases that involve stalking or infatuated behaviour take a lot of time to prepare, require a lot of police time, and the police either haven't got it or they're very wary of getting involved. And of course, they often are trespassing into the area of emotional behaviour, and the emotional life is hideously complicated. And how can you ask a policeman to take a view on the breakup of a relationship, and whether that particular person is entitled to go knocking on that door or phoning constantly day and night? I mean, some people have been so badly treated in an emotional relationship that it's perfectly reasonable for them to be to phone and to demand answers to certain questions which they're not getting. Now, you're asking policemen to take views that often you'd want a psychiatrist to take a view on. And I don't think however good our police are, and I think many of them are very, very good, they're not as good as psychiatrists in that particular area.